Following segment is sponsored by Perk. Well, it's that time of year again. School is in session, and I think we can all agree that every child deserves a safe, clean, and healthy ride to school. So joining us today is Emily Calandrelli. She's the Emmy-nominated host of Emily's Wonder Lab on Netflix. Welcome, Emily Calandrelli. It's so nice to have you today.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. Now, this is so cool. You have a great story. You went from MIT to hosting a popular Netflix kids show. How does that happen?
Well, one, you get very lucky, but I would say I've always loved science outreach. I've loved going into the elementary school classroom, the middle school classroom, and talking to students about all of the cool stuff that I was learning in my engineering classes in grad school and in college. And so for me, it felt like a natural transition from doing all of that to hosting a science TV show and telling more people about all the things I love about science.
Well, science is cool. And so, in speaking of which, from what you know, what does the science tell us about school bus emissions? Very interested.
Yeah, this is really important because a lot of people probably watching this were like me, and they went to school on a very old, like dirty diesel bus. I can still remember the smell of the diesel bus exhaust. And in that exhaust, you would probably see a thick black smoke coming out of the tailpipe. And in that exhaust are harmful emissions that are not good for the environment. They're not good for kids' lungs. But the good news is that today there are now better alternatives, cleaner alternatives like propane school buses. So with propane, you have a marginally higher cost than diesel, but you can drastically reduce those emissions. So the nitrous oxide emissions, you can reduce them by 96% compared to diesel with propane.
That's really cool. So I'm interested. So Emily, how does propane compare to like electric buses?
Great question, David. So when you think of clean vehicles, you often think of electric. Electric school buses are great. They are great. You don't have those same emissions, but the thing to consider here is that electric school buses are expensive. You can get 3 propane school buses for the cost of 1 electric bus. So in that way, it's a little bit of an environmental justice issue too, because you shouldn't have to live from a wealthy school district to be able to breathe clean air, because electric school buses are so expensive. Not everybody can afford them. It depends on where you live, of course, but not everybody can afford that.
They are expensive indeed. So why are the costs associated with these alternative energy sources so important?
Well, because a lot of people might be asking, if diesel is so bad, why are they so prolific still around the country today? Why haven't we updated them? And the reason is cost, because it costs money to update your school bus fleet. So the important thing I want people to know is that the Environmental Protection Agency has the Clean Bus School program that is offering $5 billion worth of grants over the next 5 years to school districts to help them upgrade their diesel fleet to cleaner vehicles like propane. So to learn more about how to get money from that grant and to learn more about propane school buses, you can go to betterourbuses.com.
Well, that's fantastic. We go to betterschoolbuses.com. That's where we go for more info?
Better Our Buses, betterourbuses.com.
Betterourbuses.com. Emily Calandrelli with Wonder Lab. It's been wonderful having you on the show. Thank you so much for bringing the cool science to the table. We appreciate it.
Thanks, David.
Thanks a lot. Have a good day.